What is up, everybody? Josh here. Sorry about the delay in videos, and I've been just kind of busy getting ready for the holidays and stuff, but videos will be back to full force as soon as Christmas is over. But I wanted to take a minute to do a quick video about something I actually talked about on a previous episode of Xbox Best Friends, and I actually put a link to that episode in the description. It's also located on my YouTube channel, if you were interested at all in taking a listen to that, but it has to do with games that only have multiplayer modes. So, something I've noticed a lot, at least recently, is that people tend to hate on games that only have multiplayer. The most recent example of this, which you're actually looking at right now, is Star Wars Battlefront. And I'm going to be honest with you, I cannot understand where this mentality comes from. People just don't care about games that are multiplayer only. And now I know games that are multiplayer only, like League of Legends, are the #1 played game on Earth. That's not what I mean. What I mean is in the small sort of bubble of the gaming enthusiasts, people seem to say single player or bust. Or like, it needs to have a single player mode for me to care at all about it. And I really don't understand this. I don't get this idea. If I was to say to you, hey, you have $60 and you can get one of these two things. Here's one game where you'll have 12 hours of time with it. It's a single-player only game, so you play it by yourself. And I'll be honest, maybe you might have a good emotional experience. The story might be fantastic. The gameplay might be superb. Just imagine like a 9 out of 10 game, right? And it's single-player only, 12 hours only. And you're going to be like, man, remember when so-and-so died in this game? Remember when this happened? Remember when that happened? This was a great experience. 12 hours, $60, right? And then there's another experience. We'll say it's $60, or even free, because a lot of multiplayer only games are free. And they'll say, hey, this game doesn't have a single-player mode. You can only play it with other people, and it's online, but you'll probably sink 200 hours into this and have fun with your friends and compete and cooperate and do all these other things, but there's no story, and you won't have any of these moments that are like, hey, remember when that person died, or remember when this happened? But I feel like most people in the gaming bubble would say, no, I don't want that. And I don't understand that. I don't get it. And I don't get why people specifically hated on Battlefront for that reason. Because honestly, what did you honestly expect you were going to get? Like, even with a Battlefront story. Traditionally, the Battlefront games haven't really had a single player. Now I know, and we brought it up in that podcast episode, that Battlefront 2, I believe, had like a single player story, but all it really was you just playing the multiplayer maps, and there was a thin thread just running through it. Would you really have wanted that? Because honestly, if you'd have got it, I imagine people would just be upset. They would just say, well, all we got was this, crappy story. It's like, the thing about multiplayer games, at least to me, multiplayer-only games specifically, is I'm never like, man, I remember when I did that one thing in the story mode, that was cool. Like, when I play Destiny, for example, here's a good example, I think, of what I'm trying to say. When I play Destiny, and I talk about it with my friends, I'm never like, man, remember when Oryx died in the story? That was crazy. It's never like that. Or, man, that was such a great moment. The moment for me is like, man, I remember the first time me and the Kinda Funny clan were all together. We'd been playing the raid for like 8 hours collectively, and we downed Oryx for the very first time. That's that's what I remember. And then I remember all the little fun things that we all did together. I remember, playing Iron Banner with them, and I remember doing these things. Oh, remember that time I got that headshot and the guy was like dancing or whatever? I don't know. Those seem like more, at least, organic and fun to me. At least in the last 5 years, the games that I've played the most, which would be games like Dota 2 and Destiny and Diablo, all games that have multiplayer elements to them, all games that I played with my girlfriend or my best friends or people that I didn't, have much contact with because they moved away or something, and I don't really care, like, man, remember that time when Diablo died in the story mode? It's always like, oh, man, remember when, we went off to that planet or we fought that demon or something, and wasn't that crazy? That's sort of what I'm trying to get at. I don't really understand this hatred towards multiplayer-only games. Chances are, if you're one of these people that hates multiplayer-only games, then they're not for you. Like, there's this mentality that, like, oh, like, all the environments in Battlefront are a waste. They wasted them on a multiplayer-only game. It's not a waste, because all the millions of people that are playing this game continually and playing with their friends and stuff are having fun. They don't really care that there's not a story. It doesn't matter to them that... And in the end, a lot of these places are places we've already heard the story of. Like, when you go to Hoth, do I really need to hear about the Empire coming down to destroy the shield generator? No. I've seen the damn movie. And I've seen the movie like 150 times. I know that it's a shield generator. I don't need to be told some other story in the background. I don't care. And chances are it wouldn't even be that great of a story to begin with. It's like, I'm on Hoth. I know what happens here. I just want to shoot stormtroopers, That's sort of like what I'm trying to get at. Like, if the game is multiplayer only and you're complaining, chances are it's not for you. And you probably shouldn't be complaining, because there's a lot of people out there that just want to play with their friends and they just don't care about story games. Period. Like, if they heard a game, like if Call of Duty, for example, didn't have multiplayer, I bet you a large portion of that audience wouldn't care and wouldn't continue to play. They wouldn't put the 200 hours into Call of Duty that they normally do. It's just different for different people, and this comes down to a whole other thing. Not every game has to be for you. There's games that I don't necessarily like, and I acknowledge that other people like them. I just acknowledge that it's not something I want to do. And if they, like, for example, Grand Theft Auto, there are a ton of people out there, and I know this because it's one of the highest-selling video games of all time. I am not a fan of Grand Theft Auto. I don't like it. I don't really get why people really like it, but I don't hate on it, and I don't say, man, this whole city is a waste. They spent all this time making this thing. They should have made something else. I really don't care, man. There's people I know, dear friends of mine, that freaking love Grand Theft Auto. And you know what? More power to them. Grand Theft Auto's not for me. I don't buy Grand Theft Auto, and I'm happy that they have fun with it. So when something like Battlefront comes out, and people complain, oh, it's too casual, and there's no story mode, and da-da-da, chances are it's not for you. And you know what? Because this game is made for a larger audience. For example, my best friend, who's a teacher, who can't really play video games that often, freaking loves Battlefront, plays it every weekend. He doesn't have time to commit to something like Destiny, like I commit to, where I'm really concerned with all my weapon perks and my loadouts, and I raid every week and have a clan and all these things. He's the perfect person for this game, for Battlefront. This is not it's not a hardcore game, and even me, as somebody who would describe themselves as a gaming enthusiast, I don't necessarily want Battlefront to be that game, because I don't have time to commit to any deeper games. I already play all these Blizzard games. I already play Destiny. I play whatever single-player stuff comes out that I'm interested in. Like, I'm playing Witcher right now, and that's really deep, and I feel like, when I jump into Battlefront, do I really want to be concerned with the scopes on my lasers and all these things? Not really. I kind of just want to get in and shoot some stuff and fly an X-Wing, and after an hour be like, okay, I'm done. That's really it. That's all. That's all. I don't know. I don't understand this mentality of single-player only games being somehow better than multiplayer only games. When I'm someone who's put like 1,000 hours into Dota 2 and has great stories and great memories of playing with friends. And then, likewise, I played The Last of Us once, which was like maybe a 12-hour experience, and I adore that game still. Would I say either of them are better than the other? No, they're just different. And do I acknowledge that there are other games out there that aren't for me? Of course there are. I'm not a fan of dating sims, but would I say, like, oh man, this dating sim is a waste because I don't like it? No, because I know there's people out there that love that genre. And while I'm not a fan of the genre, I am glad that there are people out there that love the dating sim genre. Just like I'm glad there's people out there that like Grand Theft Auto, you know? Do I expect Rockstar to make a Grand Theft Auto game that's going to turn me around and change my opinion about the franchise? No, I don't expect them to do that, and nor do I care, because I acknowledge that that game's not for me. Just let them do what they want to do, and their fans will like it. And I feel the same way about Battlefront, and I feel the same way about a lot of games. You know? There's this weird mentality, which I'll probably have to cover in a different video, where people just expect that every game is supposed to be for them. Or every game should only pander to the hardcore. There should be no casual games. There should be no phone games. Every game should be just as deep and as long as The Witcher. Or every game should be, you know, have the same graphical fidelity as The Last of Us. Or every game should have the same art style as, you know, frickin' The Order 1886 or something. I really don't get this idea, you know. Games are different for different reasons, and they're for different people. And Battlefront is not for the hardcore gaming audience. And you know what? I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm really curious about what you guys think. I want to hear what you think in the comments. Do you prefer one or the other? When I mean single player or multiplayer only, do you like a hybrid, sort of like Destiny or something like, you know, Uncharted that has both single player and a multiplayer mode? I'm genuinely curious about what you guys think and why this attitude in our little gaming enthusiast bubble exists in the first place. Anyway, hope everybody has a good holiday, and I'll see you guys later. Bye. Love you.